Rhythm is an aspect of connected speech that refers to some noticeable event happening at regular intervals of time, such as the rhythm of a piece of music, the rhythm of a heartbeat, or the rhythm of a flashlight. By connected speech, we mean that kind of speaking style usually adopted by speakers when they have normal conversations. It's also called a conversational speaking style or casual speech. And such kind of speaking style has different aspects, and one of these aspects is rhythm. And rhythm is not the music of speech. Rhythm is about timing. It's noticeable because we can notice the rhythmical pattern of something. And it happens at regular intervals of time, or regular units or periods of time. It's repeated, such as the rhythm of a piece of music or the rhythm of speech. Rhythm has two types: stress-timed rhythm and syllable-timed rhythm. Stress-timed rhythm is one type of rhythm which implies that stressed syllables will tend to occur at relatively regular intervals of time, whether they are separated by unstressed syllables or not, such as the rhythm of English, Arabic, and Russian. So timing in this kind of rhythm depends on the number of stressed syllables. This means that if an English sentence has 5 stressed syllables, then it has 5 units or 5 parts. And if an English sentence has 6 or 7 stressed syllables, then it has 6 or 7 units of time, respectively. In the example, walk down the path to the end of the canal, we have 5 stressed syllables. This means that this sentence should be divided into 5 rhythmical parts or rhythmical units. And these units are called the feet, and the singular form is the foot. The foot is defined as a unit of rhythm which begins with a stressed syllable and includes all following unstressed syllables, if any, up to but not including the following stressed syllable. So the foot starts from the first stressed syllable, and it takes all following unstressed syllables, if we have them, but it doesn't include the next stressed syllable. So if you see the example, walk down the path to the end of the canal, you can see that walk is stressed. Then the next stressed syllable is down. It's not included in the first foot. There is unstressed. It's also included in the second foot, but path is stressed. It's not included. See, the rhythmical feet are separated by using dotted lines, not solid lines or dashed lines. Syllable-timed rhythm, on the other hand, is a type of rhythm which states that all syllables, whether stressed or unstressed, tend to occur at regular intervals of time, such as the rhythm of French. So rhythm of this kind depends on the number of syllables. If a French sentence has 6 syllables, then it has 6 parts. If a French sentence has 10 syllables, 5 of them are stressed and 5 are unstressed, it also has 10 parts. So rhythm here in French doesn't depend on the number of stressed syllables as in the case of English and Arabic, for example. But rhythm here depends on the number of all syllables, whether stressed or unstressed. You also need to be aware that some theories of rhythm point to the fact that some feet are stronger than the others, producing strong, weak patterns in larger pieces of speech above the level of the foot. So if you take the word 20, for example, 20 has 2 syllables. The first syllable is strong, following the rules of chapter 10, when we deal with the level of syllables. The second syllable is weak. The same thing applies to the word places. The first syllable is strong, the second one is weak. Now when we put these two words together and we have the phrase 20 places, when we move from the level of the syllable to the level of the word, now it depends on the speaker himself or herself and which word that speaker wants to stress. If the speaker wants to stress on the word 20, then 20 will be strong and places will be weak. And if the speaker wants to stress on the word places, 20 will be weak and places will be strong. So only in the level of the syllable we follow the rules of stress, and then the other levels depend on the message that speaker tries to convey or to deliver, and which words that speaker want to stress on. We also have what is referred to as the metrical grid, which of course depends on the rhythmical tree diagram. It's just a line, a dashed line, or a diagram that shows which syllable is the strongest in the sentence. Of course, it shows that by counting the number of S's that occur above that syllable. In our example, 20 places further back, the syllable back is the strongest because it has more S's than the other syllables. Assimilation is another aspect of connected speech, and a process in which one consonant in one word changes in some way to be like another consonant in another word, usually a neighboring word, an adjacent word. In other words, one phoneme in one word is realized differently because of the influence of another phoneme in a neighboring word. One phoneme in one word changes in some way because of the influence of another phoneme in another word. And by phoneme we mean a consonant. We're talking about consonants here. And when we talk about changes, we're actually talking about one of three types of changes. Three types of consonantal changes. A change in a place of articulation, a change in manner of articulation, or a change in voicing. So because we have three types of consonantal changes, then we have assimilation of place of articulation, assimilation of manner of articulation, and assimilation of voicing. And in order to understand this process very well, one needs to be aware of the different places and manners and voicing of consonants. We have 6 manners of articulation. We have plosives, which are 6 in number, and we have fricatives, which are 9 in number, affricates, 2 consonants, nasals, 3 consonants, proximants, 3 consonants, and 1 lateral consonant. Places of articulation are 8 in number. We have bilabial, we have alveolar, velar, labiodental, dental, postalveolar, and glottal, and palatal too. And some consonants are voiced, produced with vibration in the vocal folds, while other consonants are voiceless, produced with no vibration in the vocal folds. Assimilation can also happen within single words, not necessarily in 2 neighboring words, but it usually happens between 2 neighboring or adjacent words. When we say one consonant changes in some way to be like another consonant in a neighboring word, and if the change is in place of articulation, this means that this consonant changes in place to be like the place of the other consonant. So the place of one consonant affects the place of another consonant. And when we say one consonant changes in manner because of the influence of another consonant, this means that the manner of one consonant affects the manner of another consonant. And the same thing applies with voicing. Speaking of the 2 consonants, one consonant is final in one word, and we call it CF. Another consonant is initial in another word, and we call it CI. So CF is the final consonant of the first word, and CI is the initial consonant of the second word. So in assimilation we have CF and CI. And in assimilation, either CF changes to be like CI, or CI changes to be like CF. And this means that we have 2 types of assimilation. Regressive assimilation, when CF changes to be like CI, and progressive assimilation when CI changes to be like CF. So if CF changes to be like CI, whether in place or in manner or in voicing, it's regressive assimilation. And if CI changes to be like CF, it's progressive assimilation. In regressive assimilation, CF changes. CF is influenced or is affected by CI. So CI doesn't change. CI affects and influences CF. In progressive assimilation, CI changes to be like CF. CI is affected or influenced by CF. CF changes or affects or influences CI. In English, the most common type of assimilation is regressive assimilation, where CF changes to be like CI. Assimilation of place of articulation. All assimilation of place of articulation is regressive, meaning that the place of articulation of CF changes to be like the place of articulation of CI. And we have 4 main cases. 1. Alveolar plus bilabial. If CF is alveolar and CI is bilabial, the alveolar CF changes to be a bilabial consonant, just like the bilabial CI. As in, that person becomes that person. 2. Alveolar plus dental. If CF is alveolar and CI is dental, the alveolar CF changes to be dental, like the dental CI. So that thing becomes that thing. 3. Alveolar plus velar becomes velar plus velar. The alveolar CF changes to be like the velar CI. As in, that case becomes that case. And 4. Se or ze, when followed by she or ye, se changes to she and ze changes to je. As in, this shoe becomes this shoe, and those years becomes those years. So how do I know this is assimilation of place of articulation? Well, the answer is just look at CF and CI. If CF is alveolar and CI is bilabial, this is probably assimilation of place. If CF is alveolar and CI is dental, assimilation of place. If CF is alveolar and CI is velar, assimilation of place. If CF is se or ze and CI is she or ye, this is assimilation of place. Assimilation of manner of articulation. Well, assimilation of manner can be regressive and progressive. In regressive assimilation of manner of articulation, we have 2 cases. We either have plosive plus fricative, and the plosive changes to a fricative, as in that side becomes that side, or we have a plosive plus nasal, and the plosive again changes to nasal, as in good night becomes good night. In progressive assimilation of manner, we also have 2 cases, and it's also regressive. We also have regressive assimilation in this case. Regressive assimilation because we will also have a change in CF, not just a change in CI. So the 2 cases are when we have a plosive plus de, a plosive like te or de plus de, as in get them becomes get them. And here we can see that CF changes to be dental, just like CI, and this is regressive assimilation of place. And also CI changes to be dental. CI changes to a plosive from a fricative to a plosive, just like the preceding, just like the manner of the preceding consonant. Another case is when we have nasal plus the, and here we also have 2 types of assimilation, regressive and progressive, because both CF and CI change, only in this case. Number 3, assimilation of voicing. Assimilation of voicing is always regressive, and you can see that regressive assimilation is really the most common type of assimilation in English. In assimilation of voicing, the voicing of CI affects the voicing of CF. So if If CI is voiceless, CF becomes voiceless. If CI is voiced, CF becomes voiced too. Have to, for example, becomes have to. And ve changes to fe because it's followed by a plosive, a voiceless plosive. And you can see that in have to, when it changes to have to, there's no change in manner and also no change in consonant, in place of articulation when we talk about CF. Elision is another aspect of connected speech. It's a process in which certain sounds disappear under certain circumstances. In other words, under certain circumstances, in certain contexts, certain sounds are realized as zero or have zero realization. In other words, some sounds are deleted in some contexts. So the question is, what are the contexts in which certain sounds are deleted or realized as zero? 1. Loss of weak vowel, mostly schwa, after pe, te, or ke. So, when a schwa is preceded by pe or te or ke, that schwa is mostly deleted, as in potato becomes tato. So the schwa is deleted. 2. Weak vowel plus ne or le or re becomes syllabic consonant, as in correct becomes correct. The schwa is deleted because it's followed by re, and re becomes syllabic. 3. Avoidance of complex consonant clusters. If we have more consonants together in a cluster, like 4 or maybe 5 or 6, we know that the maximum number of consonants that cluster together is 4 in the coda of the syllable. But if this coda is followed by 2 or more consonants in the onset, it will be really difficult to pronounce. So in order to avoid such difficulty and make pronunciation smooth and easy, we delete some of these consonants to make it a simple cluster and easy to pronounce. For example, George the Sixth Throne. Sixth throne is difficult. So in order to make it easy, we delete some consonants and we pronounce it as sixth throne. 4. Deletion of middle plosive if we have 3 plosives together or 2 plosives plus a fricative. Looked back. Here we have 3 plosives together. Ke, te, and be. The te, the middle plosive, is deleted to make it easy to pronounce. So instead of saying looked back, we say look back. Of course, in connected speech, in rapid or conversational speech, casual speaking style. Or if we have 2 consonants, 2 plosives plus a fricative, we also delete the middle plosive, as in scripts. In scripts, we have pe a plosive, te a plosive, se a fricative. We delete the te, and we say scripts, which is easy and also understood from the context. Finally, number 5, loss of final v and av before consonants. So if v and av is followed by a consonant, we delete it to make a pronunciation easy. Waste of money becomes waste of money. Cup of tea becomes cup of tea.